Hello, coffee connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Snob Reviews. I'm your host, the Coffee Snob, and today we're doing Chocolate Cherry Celebration by Boca Java. Let's go. So in all seriousness, for just a moment, I really do want to feature the front of this bag in the video. I know it's in the thumbnail, but I really want to feature it because that is just a really cool looking bag. Look at that. And with the 4th of July coming right around the corner as of the time of the upload, it seems very appropriate to be doing this coffee. On top of that, chocolate covered cherries are some of my absolute favorite candy, so I personally cannot wait to try this. Despite the fact that we're doing the chocolate cherry celebration just in time for us here in the United States to celebrate our Independence Day, if you are personally celebrating a win or a victory in your life, be sure to let us know about it down in the comments so we can celebrate it with you. Now, let's get on to the coffee. Coming from the front of the bag, a decadent blend of two mouth-watering flavors, chocolate and cherry, combined for one sweet coffee. And coming from the back of the bag, our passion to be the best. We hand select the top 2% of Arabica beans from the finest growers worldwide. We use a small batch technique that delivers perfectly timed roasting for consistent quality. We roast to order, providing our customers with coffee at the pinnacle of freshness. And for full disclosure, the bag that I have right now has a sticker on it that says made 4/10/23. Again, full disclosure, this has been sitting in my cupboard for quite a while. I've had this coffee for quite some time waiting to do this video. We expertly craft the widest variety of unique roast, blends, and flavors, and that is something that I can kind of attest to. When I was browsing through their website, I was really shocked by the kind of more or less out there flavors that I found. And I bought a lot of them because at the time that I found this company, they were running a pretty nice sale. And curiosity got the better of me, and I decided that I wanted to try all of these random, unique, and kind of weird flavors. So we're going to be doing a lot of Boca Java videos in the future. Obviously, I'm not going to back-to-back them because then everyone's going to get kind of bored with it, including myself. But it's nice to have to throw them into the mix. So what do you say we find out what this coffee smells like? We have a vent in the back of the bag right here. You can't really see it up close. No, you still can't see it. It's kind of dark. You'll just have to take my word for it and trust me. I smell cherry. The scent of cherry is very prevalent. The scent is on point. This coffee smells how a chocolate covered cherry would smell if you only bite into half of it. And not only that, but it smells how it actually tastes. I'm already kind of impressed. But what do you say we actually open up the bag? I did a horrible job. I always do such a bad job ripping these bags open. That is chocolate covered cherry if I have ever smelled it. That is absolutely chocolate covered cherry. So I'm interested. I'm curious, right? I want to know, and obviously we're going to find out once we brew this and taste it. I want to know if the cherry scent is going to be the predominant flavor. If this coffee tastes how it smells, obviously it's going to be more mild than the scent. This is going to be a phenomenal coffee. This is going to be a great kind of dessert coffee, my opinion, if it happens the way that I think it's going to happen. But I'm curious. I could sit here and smell this all day. Really, I could. I really could. But to be honest, I would much rather taste it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to get this brewing, and we're going to keep talking a little bit about this coffee in the meanwhile. So while we wait for the coffee to brew, there's a couple more things that I would like to talk about. One of which is here on the back of the bag, they have brewing instructions. And it says 1.5 to 2 tablespoons plus 8 ounces of water. Now that might be instructions for a French press or something fancy like that. I would love to use a French press. The unfortunate reality of the situation is that I drink entirely too much coffee for that. The amount of coffee, the volume of coffee that I consume, it's just not practical for me to make my coffee that way. So if these instructions are for something like a French press, what do you do if you have a normal brew machine like I do, like just a flat out $20 Mr. Coffee machine that you can pick up in any Walmart? Well, this is what I do. This is a 1/8 cup measuring cup. It also comes out to 30 milliliters. If the coffee is pre-ground, I typically do somewhere between 2.5 or 3 scoops of this, 2 if the coffee is really, really strong, like really strong. And especially if it's very acidically strong. Like there's good strong and then there's bad strong. So if we're talking about the acidic bad strong, definitely 2 of these. Now for whole beans, which we all know that is my preference. We all know that I love whole beans. Typically, what I will do is I will just fill the beans all the way up until they're sitting even with the top of the grinder, and then I'll grind it down. And typically, that amount of beans in the grinder, when you grind it down, it will measure out to about 3 to 3.5 scoops from that 1/8 cup scooper. So in the end, it all kind of works out. But that's how I make my coffee. That's why I consider myself a coffee snob. I like coffee. I like coffee the way that I like my coffee. And in a way, everybody who likes coffee the way that they like their coffee. We're all a little bit of a coffee snob. Something else on the back of this bag, it says Boca Java recommends brewing with filtered or bottled water. And that is definitely something that I can get behind. Even though I personally don't, in a perfect world, I would be able to do that. The water you brew with has a huge impact on the taste of your coffee. Boca Java has a wide selection of different coffees and even teas. They even have some coffees set aside to help some charities, such as Coffee for the Troops, the School Coffee Built, and Project Cure Coffee. They even have a section dedicated for certified organic and certified free trade coffees as well. Boca Java is a really cool site, a really cool company. I will definitely have a link in the description of this video. I highly recommend you go and check out the site. But I just heard the coffee pot beep, which means coffee's done. So let's go get a cup and let's get this tried. So we're back. This is taste number 1. Unsweetened, no sugar, nothing like that in it. But naturally first, let's see what it smells like brewed, as we do in every video. I can still smell the cherry, and I'm excited about that. I was actually a little bit worried that when we brewed this, I wasn't going to be able to smell the cherry anymore, because like I very much want this to taste kind of like, I want it to have a cherry taste, okay? Like I very much want this to have a cherry taste. It's hot. It's gonna have a cherry taste. It's not very like sweet. Like it is, but it's not. You can still get very much flavor of coffee out of this, but you definitely get the cherry notes. Now, when I say cherry, I don't mean like a fresh cherry picked right from a cherry tree. I'm talking about the cherries in that red sauce in the glass jars that you get, the cherries that you find in chocolate covered cherries. I'm getting notes of that, and I'm very impressed with it. The coffee itself, and I'm talking about the coffee flavor minus the cherry, reminds me of a medium roast coffee. And I don't know if I've talked about this on the channel yet, but when it comes to the different roasts of coffees, like the light, the medium, and the darks, those affect the flavor. Those are how roasted the beans are, and that is going to affect how bold the flavor is. So when somebody talks about how strong a coffee is based off of its roast, they're referring to the boldness of the flavor, not the caffeine content. The caffeine content is pretty uniform from light to dark, unless you get like an extra caf. But this coffee kind of has like a medium roast to it. It's not too bold, but it's also not light. I love how every time I sip this coffee, I get that initial cherry flavor, and then I get coffee aftertaste, like after flavor. And I like that. It's refreshing. It's very nice. I'm not getting a whole lot of chocolate notes from it. I really kind of feel like this would have been awesome done as like a mocha. So I'm really impressed with this coffee. I'm very impressed with it. It's very pleasant. It's very well tasting. It's got a very good flavor. It's the coffee aspect, the coffee side of it's not too bold. It's not too in your face. It's definitely good. I'm curious to see what this is going to be like sweetened. So why don't we go and sweeten it? So I'm back, and I have with me here an artificial sweetener. It's natural, because I'm still watching my coffee snobbish figure. I'm still doing the diet. I'm still trying to lose some pounds. I think we're up to like 18 now. There we go. That's what we're celebrating. Almost 20 pounds lost in the first month of the diet. Chocolate cherry celebration. Let's go. Now, I got a little bit of some questions about this in the comment section of the last video that I featured it. Now, I'm going to keep this brief because this is not a keto channel as much as I would like to start a keto channel. Now, this is considered a sugar alcohol, which is more closely related to a carbohydrate than it is actual sugar. And sugar alcohol hits the body differently than a normal carb does, which is why it can be used in moderation on the keto diet. So I hope that kind of answers and explains a little bit of the questions about what this is. It is a sugar alcohol. It is not as strong as sugar, but it basically does the same thing. So we have 2 spoonfuls of sugar here, and cheers, guys. Just shout out to you. Thank you for being here watching the video. I appreciate you all. The sweetener actually brought out a little bit more of the cherry scent. It's actually a little bit more strong. It's a little bit more prevalent. Interesting. There it is. Wow, 2 coffee videos in a row that I've actually preferred them sweet over not. And I think it's really brought out the cherry flavor. There's still very much coffee flavor. Don't get me wrong. There's still very much coffee flavor, and it's coffee aftertaste. But I'm still getting a initial taste of the cherry, and it is a lot stronger than it was unsweetened. That's amazing. That's really good. This is, wow. Just a reminder, I know I talked about this in the last video, but just a reminder to everybody at home. The sugar alcohol that I use to sweeten this coffee with is not as strong as sugar. So if you're trying this coffee at home, you're going to have a more strong flavor than I do. So it might not match up what I'm saying like 100%, but it will be close. It will be close. But this is amazing. I can't. That's incredible. I liked this coffee unsweetened. I liked this coffee on its own merit. I love this coffee with a little bit of sweetener in it. This is good. This is a good dessert coffee, and it's not too powerful. It's not overly sweet. Might be with sugar. I doubt it, but I don't know about that. It's actual sugar, it might be. But this is really, really good. This is, after a nice meal, I would love to sip on this in good company with some people. Good after dinner conversation drink. This is a great coffee. Boca Java, congratulations. I thoroughly enjoy this. But guys, I think this is all the time that I have for coffee review videos today. Unfortunately, thank you very much for spending some time with me and watching this video. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you. Have a happy and safe Independence Day weekend. I stress, have a safe Independence Day weekend. If you're in the US, if you're not in the US, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys. Have a safe Independence Day weekend, he says, like he isn't aware that this is somebody's final days of having a full set of fingers. And for I have a little bit more that I would like to talk about, but we can do that while the coffee is brewing. So what do you say we rip it and sniff it? So what do you say we see what this coffee smells like? That's a really weird statement. I need to practice my bag ripping skills that I don't have. I need to practice the skills that I don't have. I need to develop the skills that I don't have. I like coffee the way that I like my coffee. And in a way, everybody who likes coffee the way that they like their coffee. We're all a little bit of a coffee snob. Except for the people whose first cup of coffee in the morning is the coffee that was left over from yesterday's morning and has gone cold like 23 hours ago. You all terrify me. The water that you brew your coffee with absolutely affects the taste. Absolutely. Gee, does the water you're brewing with affect the taste? Absolutely. They even have a few coffees that go towards some charitable words. So I'm back and I have with me here more evidence that I cannot open the tops of these bags. Get a little ASMR coffee stirring in here. I don't know what to do with this. We'll wear it in the hat. Why not, right? There. I'm going to forget about it, stand up, and it's going to hit the floor. It's going to scare me. It's going to be great. Confucius say, if your coffee tastes like dirt, it may be fresh ground. Fun fact, it's an old wives' tale that strong coffee is used to treat a chronic cough. There's actually studies that have been shown that coffee and honey can actually treat a cough and other cold symptoms, although I would be willing to bet that it's more the honey doing it than it is the coffee. But I'll leave a link to that article in the description, just for fun. Peace, guys. Hey, wait, before you go, I just want to let you know that you can follow me on Twitter if you so choose to, and if the channel keeps growing, I'm probably going to start releasing coffees over there, probably a month early. That way, if anybody wants to order them and try them at home with me alongside the video, you're able to do that. Thank you all again for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one.